Hey there everyone, welcome back to the channel. I have rigged my chair, kind of. We're back in the regular chair. I don't know if it's going to hold. We'll find out. Stick around to the end. Today we are going to be looking at the Mythic banner stuff that we have coming up pretty soon. Actually, it kind of snuck up on me, and I hope it did not sneak up on you as well. So what I'm going to do today is basically try and provide a little insight as to, who our guaranteeds are. They're right there. And then some banner predictions, and then the mythic possible candidates that I could see happening. It's all really just speculation and inference drawn on things that have been happening this month. So it's not gospel, but I don't know. I'm right sometimes. I will be having some spoilery things for games, but I will let you know once we get to the mythic candidate who that's going to be and what the spoiler is going to pertain to. And if that doesn't interest you, you can just skip on ahead based on what I'm assuming the little scroll bar at the bottom of the video would be. So, all of that out of the way. Have you subscribed yet? I'm just curious. No pressure. Just curious is all. Like a parent who's not angry, just disappointed if you haven't subscribed yet. Your move, viewer. Alright, so let's take a look. July, we have Ike, Altina, and Roy coming back. That means red is locked. There is nobody coming back in the 5-star candidate or mythic candidate that can be red. So there you go. Blue, Fjorm, Legendary Tiki. They're both here. Isn't that great? Blue has 1 open slot. We'll talk about that in a minute. Legendary Edelgard. Also Thrasier. They'll be back in green, and I believe this is Edelgard's first rerun. So if you didn't pick her up the first time, now you've got the opportunity to. Don't squander it. I don't know when she'll be back. But I will tell you when they're going to be back on the Hero Tracker, which is going to debut the day the banner drops. So get ready for that. And then Colorless, we have Air. So to summarize, red is locked. Blue and green both have 1 possible candidate. And then Colorless has 2. Oh dear. Alright, so let's just look at what the obvious choices are. We had Lysithea. I had predicted Lysithea last month because she was kind of like in line to be the next red unit that would show up on one of these banners. But as I pointed out during the calendar video earlier this month, I was like, Lysithea is probably going to be on this Moonbow banner. So get ready for that. She was. So she will not be on this banner, obviously. Also, there's no red candidate. And that's really what makes the banner prediction parts of these videos a little bit harder to anticipate, because what IS does is they probably plan out like skills banners months ahead of time, so they know who they're going to put back in that. And if they're going to do that, typically with little asterisks there, typically they don't bring back 5 stars that are in weapon skills banners or whatever to monthly banners, with the exception of like Ocean and Sed, I think, is another one that we've maybe seen more of. I'm not sure. The weird headband voting gauntlet thing, that was just a nightmare for stuff. So occasionally they do that. Typically it's just been green units so far for some reason. Some blue units they completely skip over. I don't know. Genuinely don't know. Percival, where was he? I don't know. He never came back. So just keep that in mind, I guess. So blue. Blue is the next candidate up. Nils. I think we're probably going to be seeing Nils this time around. He debuted back in early spring. We're now kind of moving towards fall. So we're kind of on that 5-month in-between-ish portion. It's not exact. It's not an exact science, but typically anybody shows back up like 4 to 6 or 7 months later on these banners, depending on how populated the pool is, and if they showed up in skills banners or what have you. So they can get spaced out. I think Nils' banner is probably coming back. And the reason I say Nils and not Fiora, I think Fiora's probably a better candidate for a skills banner. Maybe. Nils would definitely make this a little more premium, I think. Nothing against Fiora. I am a Fiora fan. I'm sad that she had a dual blue on her debut banner. But I think the general populace would be more excited about Nils, and with these banners they try and load them. Sometimes they completely fall flat. Like sometimes they I just don't know what they're thinking. I was like, do you want people to pull on this banner? You're really gonna put? Okay, all right. But you know, most of the time that's not the case. Most of the time they are slightly more premium based ish. So I think Nils is probably our blue candidate that we're looking at. Pending, of course, that it's not a Mythic hero. The downside to Mythics is they don't really have a whole lot of options for blues. Colorless is kind of a gimme because you could do Tome, you could do Dragon, whatever, which they typically tend to be Dragon-ish based. Of course, there's Fey-ish lore that kind of lends to... Basically, any Tome or Dragonstone unit, you kind of get an out. Green, speaking of green. Was I speaking of green? Transition. Rinka. Rinka, I think, is coming up next. Now, I will say that it is possible that Sed actually shows up instead. I didn't mean to rhyme, and I'm sorry. But I think it's possible that Sed could be on this banner, but more than likely I think they're going to pop Rinka in here. Sed has seen some action lately, and the only reason I bring that up is last month we had another green repeat that was also on the skills banner that I didn't really anticipate popping up. So, you know, sometimes that happens. This could be one of those times, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're going to load up green. To be honest, Thracier is really good. Legendary Edelgard, obviously, very popular. Rinka was, I think, one of, if not the second most popular unit on that banner when she debuted. So, and Rinka's really good, too, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, it's not popular. It's not just popularity, but she's also a very strong unit as well. And I think that would kind of load up the green banner a bit. Colorless, this is where it gets a little more finicky, right? Because most of the time we have either a green or colorless candidate get demoted. Sometimes also blue. That also happens. If you're a male Cavalier Lance unit, for example, you are definitely a 4-star on a 5-star exclusive banner. Them's just the rules. I don't know what to tell you. So, Colorless is one of those where it's like, oh, it's the healer, oh, it's the dagger. One of those two are going to get demoted in new 5-star banners. Not so much the case this time because we actually have two really strong candidates. Bernadetta, her time has come. Everybody else from that banner has had a repeat now that Lysithea is on the skills banner, or one of the skills banner, rather, for this month. So Bernadetta is definitely a strong option. Of course, the 3 Houses anniversary is coming up as well. We have Edelgard on there. There's going to be these 3 Houses units kind of populating throughout the month. This is one of those opportunities. And then from the Nils banner, and I call it the Nils banner, even though I think we all know it's the Layla banner. I think that's the case. I think she could be up there as well. Bernadetta will be on before Layla. So if, for example, we have a colorless Mythic hero, it will not be Layla. It will be Bernadetta Air and whoever the Mythic is, should they be colorless. But I think either way, we're looking at a strong possibility that Layla will be on this banner. Unless they go colorless. I don't know. They might. So that's who I think probably is going to fill in the roster. Pending whoever the Mythic is for that color, you can just replace and repeat as you feel fit. For the Mythic this month, so I'm going to be talking a little bit about 3 houses I'm going to be talking about this first individual, but I'm not going to go into anything that you haven't seen in the Three Houses opening video in the game, where Nemesis and Saros are fighting. So if you've seen that, then I'm not really going to ruin anything for you. So here we go. That was your vague warning, I guess. Oh my god, Nemesis. Let's talk about Nemesis. I have been talking about Nemesis for a little while. I think he would be a good mythic candidate. I'm not going to go into his necessary backstory, because I feel like he's probably one of the characters that if you didn't play a specific route, you don't know the full deets about, so I'm not going to ruin that. But he is one of those where, how do I put this? He's really only going to be portrayed using the sword of the creator, right? It's in the opening scene for Three Houses. Like, he's kind of known as wielding that weapon. So I don't think anybody else is going, like, I don't think he's going to be holding any other weapon, basically. And that locks him hard into red candidacy, which again is full. So I don't think we're going to be seeing him. I know a lot of people were talking about Nemesis, myself included. I was like, yo, dudes, we're going to get Nemesis. And then after re-looking at the roster, I was like, oh, red's locked. Never mind. I have changed my opinion on that. But for what it's worth, I think he is a good mythic candidate still. But I don't think that he will be on this month. Because again, they would have to put him in something other than red. And I just don't see him using anything other than the sword. That is kind of iconic at this point. So probably not Nemesis. Probably not. Another character that I think a lot of people have been maybe hype training a bit, maybe just kind of bandwagoning a bit, is Freya. Now, we do know that she is a Green Beast unit. I do not think she's going to be on this banner. Because number one, we just met her. And number two, her story is not done yet. So if you're familiar at all with how Heroes kind of does things, and I use that phrase loosely, extremely loosely, typically they wait till the end of the book to bring these guys in. Yeah. We like just got past the midway. So I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Maybe a couple months from now. Maybe. Again, she is a good mythic candidate, and I am beyond confident that she will probably be a mythic unit at some point. Maybe even Freya at some point. I don't know. But we do know, given the last chapter, that she is a Green Beast unit, so technically she could fit. But I don't think she's going to fit. I just don't see it. Same with our other not-so-nice fairy duo. One is red. Can't happen. The other is green. Again, possibility, but I don't think we're going to be seeing them just yet. I think they need a little more time to flush the story out. For example, when we got Thrasir and Leaf, their bits within the story had basically been over, right? In fact, I think the chapter that Thrasir was done, like done in the story mode, the next month I think is when we got her. So I don't think that they are likely candidates this time around, but they are good candidates eventually. Just not right now. Not right now. If you want them that bad, I guess Choose Your Legends is just like 8 months away. So, yay! All right. Next up, Rhea. Let's talk a little bit about Rhea, and I know I bring Rhea up frequently when it comes to these. Rhea was another one. I was like, yo, dudes, it's gonna be a Three Houses packed month. Let me tell you, we're gonna get Rhea or Nemesis as our mythic, bruh. I don't think it's going to be Rhea this time. And here's where the spoilery bits kind of come into play if you don't know anything about Rhea or who Rhea is. So you have been warned, but I think most people know the deal with Rhea at this point. So Rhea is, spoiler warning, actually Saros, who again has a sword. So if we were gonna be looking at a Rhea Mythic, I think she would probably take the Saros form. And I don't know, man. Like, again, kind of with Nemesis, I don't see her not being a sword unit as Saros. Now, Rhea is a possibility. She could be a Tome unit, I guess, technically. But again, I think she's more hand-to-hand combat-based for the most part. That's not to say that she can't. But, I mean, maybe a colorless Tome would fit her. There's also, again, more spoilers. There's also the possibility she is a dragon. So Saros Dragon could also be a thing, which, take your color pick, anyone will do. That is a possibility as well, but I don't know. But she is my second candidate in line. So I am kind of assuming that maybe it could be Rhea, but also maybe not Rhea. And the only reason I say that is that Sothis is coming back early August for something, and I don't know what it is. Nobody knows what it is, and it's bothering me greatly. But I don't know. Based on what I see so far, I think Rhea is the second most likely candidate to get it, and I know I've said that a lot. But most of the time I pick her, so I'm being methodical in what I'm thinking this time. And so spoilers are over now. Let's go to the unit I actually think we're going to be seeing. And it all kind of comes down to this one thing that I saw on the monthly banner. See that? It has a bound hero battle with Tiki and Nagi. Curious, right? It's also no surprise that we've got kind of a Marth Games anniversary type thing happening. I also know that we had a new mystery. I think it's what the banner was. A new mystery banner featuring the Chris's and some other favorites. Lena, hello Lena. Awfully suspicious, don't you think? Just getting these Shadow Dragon characters in here. Do you know what makes the most sense? Like, objectively, do you know what makes a lot of sense? Gotoh. Gotoh makes a lot of sense. And let me get a very blurry picture of him up here because, frankly, he needs new and updated art. There he is. Gotoh. So if you don't know who Gotoh is, I guess spoilers also, even though this game is had multiple remakes and is quite old. But if you haven't played it, I guess spoilers for the Shadow Dragon / any kind of game that has Marth in it. Gotoh is somebody who basically helps you defeat the end boss of the game. He helps you find a replacement for Falchion if you happen to lose it, if Tiki happens to die. He allows you to go to this weird tower thingy and cross dimensions and meet Nagi. He also creates the Starlight Tome, which I mentioned a long time ago would be a very good candidate for a colorless tome. Curious. Very curious. So, I think in general, Gotoh seems to be kind of like the gatekeeper, if you will. And he is outright mythic status. Like, there's no denying that. Given the events this month, I think he kind of makes the most sense that we would get. Probably. It's also maybe kind of worth noting that Bramimond had a very long break. In fact, his first rerun is going to be next month. And initially I was like, yo, why is it so long? Like, why is there such a big gap from Bramimond's debut to his rerun? It was like a good 6 or 7 months. I think this might be the reason. I think we're probably going to get colorless Tome Gotoh, and that's why they spaced him out, so that they didn't have two juggernauts of colorless tomes showing up on the same banner. Because I think, technically, Bramimond should have been on this banner, but he wasn't. He got bumped. And Edelgard, I think she had like a 5-month, 4-month rerun period. So Brambulons, again, was very long, and I think they spaced it out because this month we're getting a colorless tome. I think it's Gotoh. I think the events kind of help pinpoint that. That's my pick. That is my guess, and that is what I am sticking with, and it's going to make a horrible thumbnail because that is a super low-res PNG. But, hey, we deal with these, right? We deal with these things. That is my Mythic Banner thing that I do on this channel. If you have not subscribed, please do so. In the comments, let me know who you think we're going to be seeing as our Mythic candidate this month. Who do you want to see? Who do you think we'll see? Who are you going for on this banner if my layout predictions are true? Let me know all and any in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back a little bit later this week, I think, with something. Probably a trailer. I don't know. I might actually go ahead and just do the double special preview and let you guys get a little head start on that. We'll see. We'll see. If this video gets enough likes, I'll release it early. How about that? I don't know what the like count is, but when it's enough, I'll know. Then I'll release it. Not until then. That's it for now. Thank you guys for watching, and until then, I will catch you next time.